Now let's look at the next thing that I want us to discuss, which is expressions. Okay. Now think about expressions to be statement that yields a result. For instance, what we just did in our code, this is an expression, okay, which gave us a result. These are all expressions. Okay. Any statement that yields results, they are expressions. And expressions are evaluated, and then you get a result. So you have another expression on line 42, and then line 43. Now remember, you see this string insertion operator usually expect expressions, and therefore when you put it there and you miss, it will tell you that you are missing an expression. So you have to put in something so that it output it to the standard output device, which is the monitor, standard output device. Okay, let's continue. Now, when evaluating an operator in a mixed expression, okay, if the operator has the same types of operands such that both are integers or both are floating point numbers, the operator is evaluated according to the type of the operands. So let's say that this is an expression, okay? Now this is an expression. This is an integer value, and this is also an integer value. And therefore, when you evaluate this, you are going to get an integer result. That is how come we didn't have a decimal value or decimal result, but we had an integer result. Now, if supposing that we had cout 10.5 divided by 2.0, you are going to get 10.5 divided by 2.0. Then you are going to get a floating point result. I didn't add the equals to here. Let me quickly add it. So here you have a floating point. A floating point. The rule is, if the operands, these are the operands, okay, the numbers are the other side of the operator, and this is our operator. So the 10.5 and then the 2.0 are the operands, and then this mathematical symbol is the operator. Okay. Now, if you have both operands of the same type, the result is going to be of that type too. So you have 10.5, which is a floating point or decimal, and then 2.0, which is a floating point number. If you express them or evaluate that expression with this division sign or multiplication or any other operator, you are going to get a result in the same type. You are going to get a result in the same type. Now, if the operator has both types of operands, so that one is an integer and the other is a floating point number, then during calculation, the integer is changed to a floating point number with the decimal part of 0, and the operator is evaluated. Now, the result here will become a floating point number. Now, let's say that you want to do cout 10.5, okay, plus 2. So equals to 10.5 plus 2. Now this 2 here, because one operand is a floating point, automatically we are going to get 12.5. Now this 2 will become 2.0, which is an implicit conversion of one type from one type to another, from integer to a floating point. So when we evaluate this, we are going to get 12.5. 12.5. Now, the entire expression is evaluated according to the precedence rule. The multiplication, division, and modulo operators are evaluated before the addition and subtraction operators. Now, operators having the same level of precedence are evaluated from left to right. No, just like the way we calculated this expression, you realize that we were always evaluating it from the left to right, especially when it came to where you had the division and then where you had the multiplication. So you always have to start from the left to right when the operators are of the same precedence. And we have to introduce the parentheses to allow clarity in whatever we are doing. Okay, so now that we know what expressions are, let's look at the various types of expressions. Now the first one is integral expressions. Okay, these are expressions that involves only integer numbers. So for instance, the a plus the b that we did is an integral expression. and the result you are supposed to get is an integral value. The second one is floating point, or let's say the decimal expression. If you write an expression that both operands have floating point numbers, you are going to get the result in floating point, just like we did in the exercise. And then you have mixed expression. Mixed expression here is when an operand can be integral and then the other can be floating point. Remember, if you have floating point operand and then an integral, the result you are going to get it in floating point. You are going to get it in floating point. All right. Now,